Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and you're watching The Royal We. In this message, I want to elaborate more on the reality of why toxic abusive people have abandoned you in the relationship and why you should walk away and go no contact from the toxic people. But I want to stress to you the importance of understanding that these are not the same thing. Being abandoned by a narcissist in this life and you going no contact and walking away are completely different. And I know some of you out there right now have experienced some guilt and some shame for going no contact, from turning your back, and from trying to move on in your life. And if this is you, then this message is for you. If you want to hear more, hit the like button right now. All right, let's get into it. Now, this morning, I uploaded a message talking about the ways in which toxic abusive people not only abandon the relationship, but they do so after they strategically place destructive devices on key areas of your life. Areas like your confidence, your integrity, and your understanding. They target these areas of your life for self-destruction. Why? So that you can explode after they leave, and they do not have to be afraid of being compromised, and you cannot expose them for who they truly are and how they live their life. They just keep going. All right. Now, if you didn't see that video, I encourage you to watch it. It's an important video for you. The link is right down here somewhere. Watch it after this video. All right. Now, in this message, I want to talk more about the abandoning part, because it's important to understand how toxic abusive people see you in the relationship, which is why they are able to abandon you. Oftentimes, they have abandoned you before the relationship even begun. And we're going to talk about this. And more importantly, we're going to talk about why it's so good for you to be able to walk away. And that's not the same thing as abandoning the relationship. So as we've established in the video this morning, and we're going to talk about in this video, we are going to use the analogy of being vehicles in this life. It's not uncommon for us as individuals to be referred to as vehicles. Even in the ancient texts of the Bible, they referred to people as vessels. We are vessels to carry good news. We are vessels to move forward, to drive things forward in life. We are vehicles. Now, toxic, abusive narcissists also view people as vessels and as vehicles. The difference is they do not see people as vehicles that they can align themselves with to go on a long journey together. They're not in it for the long run because the instability of life scares them. And so what they're going to do is look for the best possible solution for themselves in a very selfish way at any given moment. So the best way to illustrate this is to use an analogy. So here we go. The analogy I want to use is that you, my friend, are a raft. All right? I know I probably could come up with a better analogy for you, but for the purpose of this message, you are a raft. You are a safe flotation device. And you are in the stream of life that has its dips and its curves and it's bumpy and it could be rough, but you're floating along in life the best you can. The toxic narcissist has seen you and has jumped on top of you. Instead of being a vehicle next to you, instead of being a different raft joining with you, they instead are taking you for a ride. And this is the beginning of the relationship. Now understand something, that they're on you going through this bumpy ride of life, the bumpy stream, as you float on, they're right on top of you. Because you offer safety and protection, and you're giving them what they want. You're keeping them dry. Right? But understand this, in the mind of the toxic narcissist, you're only as good until they see something that looks like it's a better option. So as you're floating downstream and the narcissist is riding you, taking you for a ride for free, suddenly the waters get a little rough. The narcissist kind of freaks out. So they see a branch overhead. So they grab that branch and abandon you, the raft. Why? Well, because you're just not that important. The raft is not as important as the narcissist, and that branch looks a lot better to grab onto. That branch represents another person, another individual in life that the toxic narcissist grabs onto for supply in order to feel safe. So they're grabbing onto that branch, hanging on for dear life through that rough patch, but then that branch lets go and they fall back into the water, and then they look over and they see you still floating on. Even though the water's choppy, you're still floating. And so they swim over to you and grab onto you and climb onto you. So they're taking you for a ride again. And they're saying things to you like, oh, thank God for you, you beautiful flotation device, you beautiful raft. Thank you for keeping me dry. I should have never have gotten off of you. I should have never abandoned you. But their heart is never for you. It's never for the raft. And so they go a little bit longer until things get choppy again. They see another branch or a rock. So they hop off. Oh, there's a rock. I'm hopping off. And they get on the rock. Once again, abandoning you. So you're still floating on in the stream. But guess what? More water comes and knocks them off the rock. So they're back in the water. They see you floating. You're still floating on in life. And so they grab onto you again. Now, by now, you should be able to understand why it is they abandon you and why it is they've abandoned you from the beginning. And that's because they never visualized you as something permanent. Everything that they come in contact with in life is temporary. Everything is highly unstable to a toxic, narcissistically abusive person, even you. It doesn't matter how well you are floating in this life. You are still unstable enough for a toxic, abusive person to not have certainty in that relationship. They just don't know how to have certainty. So they only float on you. They only ride with you until something better and safer appears, what appears safer to them, and they grab onto that, abandoning you. Now, this is why it's important for you to turn your back and leave, because at some point, you've got to get tired of being this flotation device only being used to be taken for a ride, then to be left, then be taken for a ride again, and then to be left, constantly living with this person riding you, but their heart is has abandoned you. It's not for you. It's not in for the long haul. It's not somebody grabbing on to you and saying, let's ride this out together. Let's take this stream of life all the way to the end, baby. That's not what you have with the toxic, abusive person. You have this person who doesn't quite know where, if they're going to be able to stay on you or they need to grab onto a branch or whatever. They're all over the place. So this is why it's important for you to leave. It's like you taking your raft and saying, peace out, deuces, I'm out of here, and exit that area of the stream. So now the toxic narcissist falls off the branch and they're in the water and they look, but you're not there. Now they're really wishing they would have not only ridden you, but joined alongside of you, because now you're gone, right? And that's okay, because it's not your responsibility to be somebody else's life raft in this life. It's not your responsibility to give free rides to people. That's not your responsibility. So it's okay to turn around and see the toxic narcissists do what they do, which is paddle and try to keep float the best they can. And they will paddle and suffer. Listen, don't be envious that it looks like the narcissist has a new girlfriend or boyfriend or a new life or new parties or whatever. Basically, they're just grabbing onto a branch. And they're showing it on Instagram. I found a branch. Instagram. Cha-ching. Right? That's all they're doing. For their new wife or new spouse, this is my branch I'm hanging on to, but it's going to give way. Because the toxic, abusive narcissists are so unstable, they're going to let go and fall back in. And they're going to be floundering and swimming around. But you don't have to be there for them to climb back on. You follow me? And this is why it's important for you to walk away. And some of you might be saying, but I don't want to watch them suffer. I know they're drowning out there. I know they can't swim for long. I know they're looking for branches and I want to save them. Listen, you can't, because they are not able to understand that they have to join and become a raft with you. They have to be one in the relationship, in it for the long haul. And they are not able to see life in that way. They can only see how they can save themselves and not care about you or anybody else in the process. So they will always jump on you and jump off. Period, end. And I hope that this video resonates with somebody right now. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. And so please visit www.jointheroyalwe.com. This is where you can schedule one-on-one appointments with me. We can FaceTime for those of you who are Apple users, iPhone users. We could also do telephone consultations, or even email consultations. Also, I encourage you to join me every Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time for Royal We Live Chat. This is the community coming together where you can ask your questions, and you can even call in for free as long as you know that we are live. Also, every Saturday morning is the Royal We Fellowship. This is an in-depth Bible study from the perspective of the toxic world as it is, full of narcissists. It's unlike any Bible teaching that you have heard. I guarantee you that. Again, it's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can find the links to all of these things I'm talking about down below in the description box. Go right down there right now. Find the links to everything you need, including Facebook and Instagram. And I will be back here with more videos on the Royal We.